Well, hello there, everyone. And yes, I'm going to talk about what everybody else is talking about. I'm going to keep it short for now. I'm going to come back to it because we have got the next 7 years to go over. Yes, you guessed it, Uranus entering Gemini. Ooh, wow, that is big. And of course, I want to go over a couple of things first because Uranus in Gemini, it was there, what, 84 years ago, and 84 years before that, and 84 years before that, and so on. So the memory, we all have a feeling memory. Our souls are based on those contracts that we all signed up for, and we have a feeling memory. And so does Uranus, because it remembers themes of what happened every 84 years when it was in Gemini. So it's just come out of a 7-year-ish transit of Taurus. And now feet are no longer planted on the ground. And Uranus, the sky god, is now taking his place as he did in the Greek myth after being castrated by his son Kronos in the sky, because he's now moved into an air sign. And Uranus in air, and I'm going to say particularly Gemini, because it's very much about being up in the clouds, is very comfortable. So we're now going to get a very different view as we jump off the land and take flight. And that feels very different. So there's a number of things going on. Thing number one, it's not a thing actually, sorry. There's a number of pieces to this story. So number one, Uranus and what we can learn through history. What can we learn through history? What was happening when Uranus was in Gemini? I'm going to do little segments on history, and I'm going to go back and actually show you the things that have gone on in history. But for now, I want to just talk about it as it's just happened. That's one part, collective part of history. Two is children born as of now. They're going to have, for the next children born for the next 7 years, are going to have Uranus in Gemini. Meaning that what we are all working with now as a society, those that are born into this society are absorbing all the work that we are doing. And they're going to take that into their adulthood as they become the generations of the future. And thirdly, importantly for all of us, Uranus has a personal journey, a personal commitment, a personal contract with us. So what's yours? Where is Uranus in your natal chart? That's one thing to consider. What sign is it in? Now, of course, the sign, let me make a little footnote here. The sign is certainly symbolic of the generation we're born into, but it also has a personal slant, 100%. So what sign is it in? And when I say what sign, we have to consider, first of all, the element, then the sign. Just like right now, it's moved into a mutable air sign, Gemini. And then we want to consider what house is it in? And of course, we want to consider what aspects are being made. Now, we take that's in relation to the placement of Uranus in our natal chart. But what about Uranus by transit? Where is Uranus? Now, we know that the Uranus cycle, as I've just said, is every 84 years. So if you are younger than 84, then you haven't had a return yet, and Uranus is transiting somewhere in your chart before getting back to where he was when you were born. So where is that? Because that is also a very important consideration as to working with Uranus in your chart. So let's step back for a moment, because I said I wanted to talk about the ingress, the movement of Uranus into this mutable air sign of Gemini. And I'm just talking generally right now, not necessarily collectively or personally, just energetically. So Uranus, who is Uranus? Well, as I said before, he is the great sky god. He is the one God that that wants to do everything on his terms. We know he is the modern ruler of Aquarius, and we know Aquarius is the archetypal force field of the humanitarian, the rebel, the revolutionary, to name a few. So Uranus is certainly linked to all of the above. Uranus is about liberation. Uranus is about casting away the shackles and finding a new freedom and independence. Uranus is about how we ascend. How do we ascend? And ascension is about getting a different view, rising up above everything so that we can see a much more progressive view and perspective. So we can be more innovative. We can be more futuristic. We can be more creative. Now, these are all very positive themes of Uranus. Uranus is going to, like the Aquarian nature, march to the beat of his own drum. He is about waking us up. He is about breakthroughs, making breakthroughs, about alternative methodologies. Now, these are all wonderful things, and that is the goals that Uranus is looking to kick for all of us as a collective human beings living on planet Earth, as well as in our personal lives. So, in Gemini, Gemini is what? A mutable air sign, as I said, a brainstormer, an ideas person, is social, is the networker, is the town crier, is the jester. Gemini is about stimulation, curiosity, and asking the right questions. Gemini wants to learn. Give me more. Gemini wants to work out how to put everything back together, pull it apart, put it back together. It's the rational mind. Third house energy. It is our state of mind. It can also be lacking focus and clarity and be overwhelmed with the details, looking at the detail but not getting lost in it. Being able to be objective. It's an air sign. Let's talk about it. Which of course leads me to a wonderful key word, which is finding our voice, communication, comprehension, listening, talking, thinking. All of these things are Gemini in nature. So the great revolutionary enters a sign of the great communicator. What might that mean for us all and for us personally? As Uranus is in a cycle in your chart. Now, I am born in the Uranus in Virgo generation. And that means, of course, as Uranus enters Gemini, at some point I'm going to have a square, which is, how the cycle goes. So where are you in your Uranus cycle? It's another piece of the puzzle that we are looking at. And Uranus in Gemini loves puzzles. It wants to work things out. It wants to make breakthroughs around communication. It wants to get a new perspective around what everybody's thinking. Now, as I say these things, we know that there's a very personal journey for each and every one of us, but I certainly am thinking now collectively. Whenever you might be listening to this, there will be something going on in the world, particularly over the next 7 years, as Uranus comes in to smash things out of the park, because that is what Uranus is going to do. For liberation to occur, things have to be shaken up. And that's no problem for Uranus. And in Gemini, it's certainly going to be around all of the things I said about Gemini and more. What needs to be said that isn't being said, that might shock everyone, but my God, let's all get our voice back. Pluto is in Aquarius. Let's also get our power back. The people are being given an opportunity. And, when we're all living on this planet at this moment in time together as humankind, mankind, womankind, however you want to say it. And that's a big quest right now because there's a lot that's to be done. And so as Uranus moves around your chart, wherever it lives, wherever it is now, it is showing up because you are ready for some change. You are ready to make some breakthroughs. You are ready to shatter the speed limit and come into a Uranian place. We are all ready for that. And in Gemini, it's going to be interesting. We already know that AI is a big thing. Now, I'm a believer that everything has an up and a down, and I think everything can be used for good or bad, and we need to get a balance on things. But certainly, AI is one of the things that Uranus in Gemini is certainly going to be part of. There are many other things which, when I do the presentation on history, we'll look back through that. So that's for today, my sharing on Uranus as we make new headway into the sign of Gemini, both collectively, pardon me, and personally. And until soon, when I share some more, take care of yourselves and find your voice and say what needs to be said and have some honest, truthful conversations that allow you to really be more authentic and more real in relation to everything of a Gemini nature. So until soon, have a great day, everyone. Bye for now.